It's your
All
brother
right.
from another mother, Mr. Mark Deeds Klodzinski. It's your boy Goo. And right down below, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. John Lee from WCR Zero World Enterprises. What do we give guests like John Lee? Deeds?
We give one of these guys.
Thank you.
And the man, the myth, the legend, John Lee. Welcome into the pod, John. We are so happy that you're here. I love that smile at 6:30 a.m. On the West Coast, 8:30 on your coast,
Freezing cold.
7:30 on the Deeds coast.
26 degrees. No, sorry, 36 degrees or something. 38 in the garage. It's cold. I'm not going to do any garage filming today.
I think it's cold everywhere right now.
It is indeed. And John, are you in North Carolina? Is that correct?
No, I'm actually in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
East Tennessee,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How'd you fare up with the ice storms?
Tennessee got hit pretty hard, especially Middle Tennessee, Nashville, probably in Memphis were hit the worst. I'm on the east side over by North Carolina border, and we didn't have as much ice, but we did have snow and ice. But the frigid temperatures is what we're in now, which growing up in the South, the thing that people know that live in the South is the worst thing is ice because you lose power.
Yeah. The lines hanging down. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were worried about that. That was our biggest fear in Houston because we were right at the tail end.
We
didn't get any of the nasty ice. We just got, the 24 degrees. We'll take that over the ice any day.
Yeah, but I know most of Texas, I think, was the highest with power outages of any of the states. So that's what's tough.
We're used to the 90s, so we don't insulate the pipes. Any pipes burps at a power plant and everything, you got to shut everything off. Did we have to reset the GFCI outlet,
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks for coming on this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much, dude. Let's chop it up. Let's get all into it. How long have you been in this industry?
Interesting. My story is I had a roommate that was a window cleaner. This was in the early 80s, 81, 82. I was doing carpet cleaning, and it was this time of year, and I did residential, so I wasn't leaving the house. He was going every day, so I was real curious. It's like, how do you get your appointments, all that? And he said, I just show up every 2 weeks to these places. I don't have to schedule anything. So I said, can I go with you and help you, just to do something to do. And that's how I first got it, in it. I ended up working apprentice for him for 6 years. Rick Ely, he's still a customer now. He still is in the industry. He's older than I am, so he's probably in his mid-70s. But we reconnected a few years back. He saw an article years ago. Window Cleaner magazine did an article on using rainwater, for pure water. And he saw that and reached out to me, and he didn't know if it was the right one, but, we connected. So that's how, originally got into it.
So were you on the glass for a while? Is that what
Yeah.
Is that
so
what got you into sales and all that stuff? How did you go from that to this?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So I've always been on the truck up until about 10 years ago. My knees completely wore out, basically. So I got knee replacement. I tried to go back. It was in the summer. My daughter, she's wonderful. She had to come get me. I thought I was going to have a heat stroke. It was like Texas, it gets extremely hot here in the summer. But I realized I couldn't do it anymore. But I met Chris and Alex. Back then, we used to use Yahoo had a way you could communicate through email. It was like a forum, but it was done through Yahoo Mail. And that's how window cleaners communicated. It was like a thread type thing. So I knew of them, but I met a guy locally that was designing carbon fiber poles in the same area in East Tennessee. And I was real interested because at that time I was using a makeshift Zorbo, had a 40-foot aluminum pole, and I had a makeshift water-fed pole.
Yeah.
Also had used Tuckers all the way back, to in the 90s. But I met up with him. Phil had a company, Simpole. They're still around. And that's how I connected with Chris and Alex. Other than I did know from them from the forums, and that they wanted to start, they had a community. They wanted to start a supply house just because there was demand in the industry, window cleaners, just like they do now. They find out what the people are interested in, want, and then they, put it together. So that's how I connected with them. I was selling Simpoles, and Chris actually called me, and they wanted to handle, repping and selling Simpoles. So later on, there was a trade show in Charleston, South Carolina, and I took Simpole and I combined with Chris and Alex in a booth. And that time they asked me if I wanted to come on with them. I said, yeah, it'd be great. So basically, I'll be working with Alex, helping him with the phones, specifically taking calls for water-fed stuff. And so I worked and then took calls mostly, in between jobs. I'd call people back, and then in the evenings, which I still do now. I'm mainly the after hours phones. So people call on weekends and nights. They usually get me.
Yeah, you're Mr. After Hours. So you're Mr. Waterfed and Mr. After Hours. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's me. So yeah, that's how. At that time, it was funny because Alex pretty much and Chris's wife, Kate, were the phones. At that time, we had a flip phone. And so we would go to these trade shows. Kate, Alex, and I would take turns carrying that flip phone around. I remember in New Orleans at, conventions, walking around with a flip phone. This is WCR.
Can I help you?
That's
how far the company has come over the, in the short period of time.
So
no rest for the wicked.
No rest for the wicked. Good indeed. Do you know where that phone is to this day?
No, I'm sure Alex ditched it a long time ago. Yeah, we went with Ring Central first. I remember that. And then we went with the company we're with now. We got actual desk phones. I think we're still using that same outfit that we switched.
Nice.
So we got a bunch of people joining in to come say good morning to you, John. Cody Smith is here.
Cody. Hey, Cody.
Jessica Battle, Adam, our partner Sean Hart, Luke the window cleaner says,
"Oh yeah,
John is
Luke. Hey, Luke. Great. I love.
This is
Luke.
One of the best in the business."
Yeah, what a great couple. I loved spending time with them. I got to spend a little bit of time with them at some of the trade shows in New Orleans. He'll remember that. So one of those. So I love that he's making YouTubes again too. He's awesome. He's really good at it.
Back in the saddle.
My screen just died. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if you guys can still see me or not, but
I can. We can see you.
Yep, there you are.
Your face is flashing. You got the lights.
Get the scientists on it immediately.
Yeah, that's a drag. Oh, there we go. Sometimes my laptop does some funny stuff. Yeah, all those folks are popping in. Tyler Levi Smith too. Let's see who else we got. Damian Schreckengoss, obviously. Damian the window cleaner. Corey Klimas is in the building. Like I mentioned, Adam Hogan Jr., Summer Wheatley, bunch of friends and fam that are coming to say what's up to our guy. Summer Wheatley says legend. Just a straight.
Yes. Summer Wheatley, I love it. Napoleon Dynamite. Good stuff.
Summer. I love Summer.
Industry. I hope you oh no, there you go. There we go. Yeah, you are beloved in this industry. You typically attend a bunch of these events that are coming up. You mentioned off air before we got on that you won't be at the IWCA,
right?
But I would love to share a quick story.
Yes.
I was at my second huge, and I had come across Mike Nichols and Zane the year prior. And Mike knows that I'm an early bird and I'm a fidgety SOB and I can't sit still and I'm always doing something, whether it be walking around or doing my thing. And he says, "Hey, Jason, I'm going to get some coffee in the morning. Would you like to join me?" And, you probably feel the same way about Mike as I do.
Yeah.
If he asks you anything, the answer is yes.
I love Mike. Yeah.
I do too. But I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were going to have coffee. We're going to have coffee, but it's me, Mike, and John Lee. And I get the introduction of a lifetime to you. And we're sitting there breaking it down and just, it's kind of quiet. It's maybe 6:30, 7 in the morning, the calm before the storm. Coffee's brewing and it's percolating in Mike's little, setup. And we're just having conversation. And we're talking everything from cleaning, but we're talking a lot about faith and a lot about life and humor and just whatever. The topics varied, but I was enthralled by the conversation. I knew I was in great company, and you, my friend, put me at ease. And the combination of you and Mike was magic for me. It made me realize that exactly, Deeds. Like, I felt like for once, I felt like I was in the right place. I was in the right company. I was safe. Everything was golden, and I didn't have a care in the world at that moment. So I want to thank you for letting me tag along and making me feel welcome and like I was part of the gang. Because seriously, John, almost instantly after that coffee, I just felt like $1 million. And that's a gift that you and Mike Nichols both have, that you make others feel welcome and feel important. And you did that for me, John. You really, really, really did. And I'll be forever grateful for that conversation, but the other ones that we've had over the next couple of years. But I won't ever forget it, man. It just meant a lot to me.
That was amazing. That little spot is so that year, as you know, that huge convention has been going on a long time.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember what year I can tell you this. They continuously had it at the Grand Ole Opera, and so Operaland in the summertime there, it's always, but definitely summer, it's a big time family vacations, busy. There's always several conventions, huge being one going on, but there's others that are just even much bigger.
Yeah.
So Mike and I, of course, are early birds. And so we figured out this little, really, I'll be honest with you, the only place that's open is that little convenience store early morning. It's where it's the only place really you can get coffee. Starbucks, the other Starbucks opens, but a little bit later. It's not in as convenient. And that area is nice. I like it because of all the waterfalls, you're basically outside, but inside in the sun.
Yeah, the sound.
Patio seating.
Yeah. So we started meeting there, and then the rest of the WCR gang would come. They, would join us later on. Of course, you joined us. And then Mike, because we both drink, a good bit of coffee in the mornings, we figured out, heck, we'll just bring our own coffee. And we figured that out. He had a percolator, and we found a plug that's out of the way. And so we buy a cup of coffee from the store there, and then just keep refilling it with our coffee.
Smart.
That's how that all started out, and just became our little spot. We'll have to figure it out again when we get to Florida this year, because it's, as you all know, the Huge is moving this year to Operaland. It's been to Operaland. It's been to the other Operaland, Gaylord. It's the correct word, the Gaylord Hotel in Washington, D.C. And so now they're going to try out the one in Florida, which would be great. Just a smaller version.
I'm really looking forward to it. Coffee in general made me, like I just mentioned, made me feel welcome, right?
Yeah.
And then as the days progressed, we kept doing it. And then, we did it in Vegas last year at the IWCA, and we've done it, that was, I think, in 2023 or 2024. Then, we fast forward to 2025. We did it at basically Mike, Zane, John B, Deeds, and myself.
Yeah.
We transferred that one over to a Denny's.
Okay.
And did it there. But and another morning we did it at a little restaurant that wasn't even open in Vegas, inside the casino.
Yeah.
But those little meetings are basically the brainchild of what it is that Mark and I are doing right now. Yeah. At the end of Vegas in 2025 at the IWCA, after 4 days of hanging out with my partner Deeds over there and the fellas, we were getting ready to leave, and I'm taking him to the airport, and I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm leaving all my friends, and I'm not going to be able to have coffee with these guys anymore. And Deeds is like, I know, man, this has been a great couple of days. Why don't we just keep doing it?
Yeah.
So here we are, basically a year later, still doing it. So
supporting the coffee.
Yeah. So the meetings with you and Mike are basically the brainchild of the Goo and Deeds podcast. So,
yeah.
What's funny about that is conventions, really the greatest part of conventions. Yes, the classes are great, the trade show's great, but it's really those little get-togethers, because just with those at the huge, I have met so many people that I would have never met, any other way, and on that level. Because when you're working the trade show, you see a lot of people, but it's so busy, and you've got so much going on. But that time before, just sitting and meeting people, I've met so many of your close friends there, and some others, that just would come by and join us. We were always, love people to come by and sit and chat.
Yeah. I worked for a guy yesterday. I subbed out doing an inside window cleaning, and he was like, he's like, hey, I want you to have these. He handed me a couple Ederay rubbers. I'm like, oh, I appreciate it. Thanks. He goes, yeah, I got with Steve-O, and he hooked me up with all this great gear and told him I just need the top of the line, everything. I was like, oh, you know Steve-O, huh? He goes, yeah, he's such a great rep. I said, he's awesome. So I was like, check this out from Las Vegas. So I showed him a slideshow of some of the fun Steve-O and I had briefly at some of the dominatrix and stuff. He's like, holy shit, you met Steve-O? Yeah. So like you guys, all you sales reps are legends. You've got guys in the field who call and use you guys, and just really appreciate everything you guys do. So like, I know you're a big water fed sales rep, and you've got all the knowledge in that, and you've been around for a while. So just tips my head off to thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, speaking of water fed, if you guys that are joining us here, or those that will watch us later, WCR Zero Products, World Enterprises under the umbrella. We do have 30% off on our windowcleaner.com, 30% off the pure water systems, Zero pure water systems. Nice. We also have 30% off brushes right now, which we've got a great lineup of brushes. Chris and Alex have done an amazing job in developing this Zero light brush. We're constantly coming up with new and better rinse bars, brushes, and then of course on Zero products we have the sales. We also have a sale on Zero products over there. So if you haven't, check those out.
Yeah, John, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? How do you want them to holler at you to help them with some sales?
Yeah, this is funny because I've always been a phone person.
Okay.
I mean, like I told you the story of the beginnings of working with WCRs. And so I definitely am available through Instagram, with there. And of course, Messenger here, but my most popular is text messaging and my phone number, which is what the phone number I use for WCR, the 865-310-0728.
865-310
0728.
0728. So I'm putting it in the thread right now. Text or
Yes.
call them 865-310-0728. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. You can always call or text. If you call on the weekends, if you call after 5 p.m. WCR, you'll get me on the phone. A lot of times, especially I cover the West Coast, is super busy from 5 Eastern time, from 5 to about 7. So if you call and I don't answer, you'll get a text from me. Just respond to that and I'll get back with you.
Awesome.
So I know that it's been answered in the chat, but somebody asked Jessica's random question. Don't recognize that squeegee behind you. I know the answer. Why don't you tell them what it is?
Okay, this one here.
Yep.
This is special edition Ed-A-Ray. Ed-A-Ray did a special edition. Chris, as a matter of fact, let me know about it. And so I got on there immediately and purchased one from Ed-A-Ray, Tori, whichever. That's funny, that name, Ed-A-Ray, Tori. One time this is the IWCA. This is years back. They used to have, they may still have it. They would have a formal dinner and you'd get all dressed up and go. And Tori Staccone's granddaughter, or daughter or granddaughter, I can't remember, was at the table. And someone asked her, is it Ed-A-Ray or Tori? And she said, it's Italian, either one works.
There you go.
Her answer was, that was, and Chris told me, he texted me and said, hey, they're having this. So I immediately got on and ordered one, and they're numbered too. They only made a certain amount. Each one of them is numbered. I think this one I got is a signed certificate. I got number 9.
Damn.
I did 500, 9 of 500.
So when I got mine, I didn't have a tag on it.
Okay.
I saw them come. I grabbed mine when I was visiting in Florida, New York, and Sean Hart turned me on to it, and I wish I would have grabbed like 2 or 3 because they are dope. It's like one of the lightest, neatest feeling little squeegees, and it just looks really sharp on video. Like it looks cool.
Yeah, it's got a nice color scheme to it.
You can tell it's definitely made for display. Using it, I've had people call me and using it and just say, it's so light, it's different. But I think, their purpose was, just to mark another landmark with them hitting their anniversary. And Unger did the same thing. They made a special squeegee for their 50th. This was the 50th. Chris is way better than I am. He's collected all the landmarks of the vendors and stuff. But I've tried to keep up.
Yeah, I was able to score a Unger 60th edition bucket, but I didn't, and I got the mop, but I did not get the squeegee.
Right.
But they're cool. I like you. I really, and like Chris too, I really enjoy getting the neat special edition things. And other than the carbon fiber squeegee, I think I put everything to use. I didn't use the carbon fiber one. It's kind of just a decoration one, but I enjoy using pretty much everything. Like I want to try it, see it, see what it looks like on camera, on film, all that good stuff. So, when's the last time you put squeegee to glass, John?
I do my own windows, so
that counts.
Yearly-ish.
I do. I think the last time. Okay, well, I'll tell you this story is interesting with COVID. I've always had a window cleaning company. I never got rid of that.
Sure.
When I started doing this, whatever it was, 14, 15 years ago, I still kept the company. I got off the truck 10 or 11 years ago. And so maybe it was 2020, 2020, after it must have been 21 or 22. I didn't have any workers after, things opened back up. So I actually had to go back and work until I could hire somebody. So I did. And it was in the summer. It was brutal. You know,
Yeah.
'cause
Woof.
we still do a good bit of route work, and then we also do residential. So mainly the route work was well, actually the first job I went back on was a house, and it was a killer because I hadn't been on the pole, and it was hot, blazing hot. Of course, residential route work we start really early, but with the residential we couldn't start as early. So that was my first day back, and it was brutal. I'll just tell you,
You remember that feeling? That's funny.
yes, exactly.
You're like, yep,
Counting
no
every
more of
window.
that.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the sales that you guys got going on this week. I know a little bit about your background too, but I want to ask you, you mentioned about the knees kind of going out on you.
Yeah.
Is that from your love of golf? Is that from your love of just window cleaning? And I don't want to, is it age?
No, is that?
What is it,
Yes.
man? Come on, let us know.
No, I actually wore them out, and I always, when I get an opportunity to talk to the younger window cleaners, I try to encourage them to, if you're planning on staying in the industry, that you really need to start thinking through, about after the knee thing, I got into yoga, which led to that was part of the rehab and all that, and I've continued to do that. And more recently, I've started doing some Tai Chi and a lot of stretching and stuff like that. Just because the industry we're in, and there's one vendor, and I won't mention his name, that did a fantastic job on explaining how window cleaning affects your repetitive motion injuries.
Sure.
We're subject to repetitive motion injuries in our industry. So he went through exactly with a physical therapist that had worked for his whole career had been the military doing physical therapy. So he knew a lot about repetitive motion injuries. So he went through all the motions that we use and explained what repetitive motion injuries you would have. Mine, of course, was the knees. I completely wore those out. Early in my career, I climbed ladders for everything, So that, just basically wore out the cartilage in the knees. I wasn't stretching. I wasn't doing a lot of exercises other than just the work, because the work was physical enough. But I try to encourage the younger window cleaners to get off the ladders. I got rid of ladders at one point after about 15 years in the industry. I got off ladders simply because I fell, had injuries. Oh. And that's where I figured out how to do everything with poles, which led to water-fed poles, which led to indoor use of poles, and a lot of the stuff that we've got now where you can do on the inside without using ladders.
It's funny how
I really encourage the guys to think of down the road, because I still have quite a few customers that are older than me that are still doing windows, and they are in, the arthritis and stuff. They're in a lot of pain, but they still love it. They're still doing it, and they don't. They have to have the income.
Yeah, but it's funny how necessity will change your plans.
Yeah, if you're not proactive, you will definitely pay for it in your latter years.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I got the water-fed pole is because I had a large French pane job, like 500 French panes. But then it was also there was people falling off ladders in 2019 or so. I read an article, and so it really made me think about my kids. It's important because you go up and down ladders all day. You're always moving it. It just takes one whoops, and then you're in trouble. So water-fed pole really has a really good place in this industry for keeping the ground guys safe. So we go home.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I slid. I've had ladders slide down the wall. I've ridden them down the wall.
Yikes.
I never actually fell backwards off any of them. But my worst accidents were riding them down the wall, and then they would stop and hit. One time I went through the prongs up to my waist.
Wow. Like Winnie the Pooh.
I think that did kill pretty much all the nerve endings on one side of the leg. There was nothing broken and all that, but later on, the knee went out and stuff. So I'm sure it may have paid.
I was coming down the ladder last week off a gutter job, and for some reason my foot slipped, so I swung sideways around the ladder and only fell about 3 feet. But I'm like, holy shit, that was close. You can't just get comfortable. You got to pay better attention, and ladders can be dangerous.
The insurance industry says that the majority of ladder falls are all step ladders because you don't use the 3 points of contact.
Yep, it's just.
Yeah, you're more likely. And I always have this nightmare of being on a ladder and have fanned a window, and then there's a spot up in the corner, and I'm reaching to get that, and I fall. And I'm like, why? It doesn't matter. I mean, one will, just live with that.
Yep.
It's because we as window cleaners, we can't leave one untouched. You can't. It's like embedded in our brain. You know what I mean? It's like you can't do that. It'd be like doing a connect the dots. Yeah, like 1,000 connect the dots and then forgetting 777. Right, Frank?
Yeah,
so, that's a spot.
Yeah, Frank Ray popped in and said good morning too. By the way,
morning. Good morning. When I used to train at one time, I trained almost every week window cleaners. It was pretty much just part of it. That period, the company was real busy, and we had huge turnover. I've lived in quite a few different places cleaning windows. I think 8 or 9 different states, but that time it was a transit area, so we're constantly hiring. So I was training, and I could tell with their personality whether they were going to be able to, do this work. Because if they were too A personality, they would never be able to find the balance between, the perfectness and what you could make money at, with your how fast you had to move, and how particular you had to be, to do it.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that you could almost pick out the type of personality that can do it.
Yeah.
I think, how long do you think it would take you to watch somebody a week, 2 weeks, a day?
45 minutes
to test their personality, not their ability, but their personality. Yeah. You know what I mean? How long do you think that it would take you to watch somebody to figure out, hey, this guy's going to last, or maybe not?
This is one thing I've learned just from experience, that it's interesting. Window cleaning is nothing more than sales. You're a salesman. You are selling yourself. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have a product, you offer a service, but if you can sell yourself, then you can sell window cleaning. So, that's how, it's basically the kind of people that are successful in this, people that are salesmen.
Yeah, we're marketers who just happen to clean windows,
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
So you know who you sound like to me real quick, John? You remind me of another legend in our industry who basically uses the same terminology. That's our pal Jersey Josh.
Yes.
So Josh, and I have had conversations over the years, and I also I'd like to give Josh a shout out. Jersey's one of the best in the business. He has this way about relaying information where he gives you little tidbits and basically wants you to decipher what it is he's telling you, if you catch my drift.
Yes.
He's done that for me on multiple occasions, and sometimes it's taking me 6 months to a year to realize what the hell he told me. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah.
So he's telling me like
lesson repeated until lesson learned.
Yeah, basically like, I don't want to do sales. And he's like, Jason, you're already a salesman, you dumbass. Like, this is what you do on a day-to-day basis, and you're pretty good at it,
Yes.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, basically like beating it in my head, like, bro, this is already what you're doing. Like, so that's funny that you bring that point up.
Yeah,
So,
what's interesting, this is interesting because what we've seen at WCR and over probably, and you guys have seen it too, is over the last, since let's say 2020, we've seen a um, huge amount of young kids. When I say young kids, I get these calls and I think,
16, yeah.
how old, this guy's got to be 12, 13, 14. A lot of them are calling
Wow.
that are already have built companies, and they are door to door selling window cleaning and walking, in their neighborhoods. And
yeah.
they built up businesses where they got enough money to purchase pure water systems, which is amazing.
Yep.
So, that's sales. They're selling them. They're outselling themselves. Now, of course, they found a market that somehow, was suffering. They found that market and filled the need.
Yeah, John. I mean, shit. When I got my start, I was doing everything. We had one family car. My wife drove it every day to work.
My wife.
My wife, Marisa, would drive it every day to work.
Yeah.
And then I would hit the pavement with my backpack and a bucket. It would be carabiner to it, and I'd pass out my flyers door to door, and I would introduce myself. And if you can do that, all you really need to do is land one job a day, and you're groovy, baby, as
right.
Jason Raines from Groovy Bubbles might like to say.
Right.
It's not rocket science. It is a field that it was not saturated at that point. In 2019, 2020 in Phoenix, Arizona, there may have been 20 window cleaners, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But the majority of them advertise as in window cleaning, like for commercial. Hardly anybody was advertising for residential window cleaning.
Yeah.
And if you could just get into one neighborhood, you were money, baby. And the younger generation caught on. And, if you didn't adapt and you didn't step up your game, you're going to get passed by a 12 to 20-year-old. It's plain and simple as that, right?
I love it. You remember that guy we met at our little coffee thing? I think he's in a large city, and he had his little electric bike.
Yeah.
And that's how he did his route and stuff. The industry's always been that way. This industry started with immigrants that needed work, and they walked around with two chamois, one on one the other, one to wet, one to dry. So I love that that's how I got my boots on the ground, was door to door neighborhoods. And we would wait till Saturdays when everybody was out and about. And, just walk down the streets, talk to people, knock on doors.
Yeah. And I always did it Monday through Friday. And I tried to do it when it was, when people were leaving for school, taking the kids out to school, or,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And loading them up in the car, you catch them real quick, you give them a flyer. Half the time they're like, I can't talk right now, but I'll be back in 20 minutes or this and that. Yeah. And then like we mentioned that the magic year of 2020, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was home.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone was.
Everything's dirty. Somebody clean this.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. It was great.
Sitting around like, man, this is my house I need to work on.
Then it became a free for all, and then it was like a wild, wild west. And then everybody was posting on YouTube how much money they were making, and it changed the game. It definitely it made everybody. And Mike mentioned in
the service industry exploded. People needed people to do stuff for them.
But right. Mike Nichols also mentioned you have to constantly adapt, and whether it be switching from ladders to water fed or from door knocking to marketing, there's always little things that we can do to, as I like to say, step your game up.
Yeah.
What do you think is one of the best things that a newcomer can do to step their game up, or somebody who's been in the industry for a long time? What are a couple of pointers that you think people can do at different points to step their game up?
I'll be honest with you. I'm telling you, is a lot of people don't take advantage of free resources from WCR. That whole section is a compilation of many, many, many years of, just knowledge learned from experience, but now available for for free to window cleaners. And I get calls all the time from people starting up, all the time, startups. And that's the first thing I tell them. Spend time there reading all those free resources. Of course, Chris and Alex put together the blueprint for marketing. That should be every window cleaner's manual, because that's how they were successful in doing it with All County. And every form, every document, everything you need. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, and you don't need to go out and spend a ton of money and buy a bunch of subscriptions, and stuff like that. All that stuff's free, and start there.
Yep, and they got templates. They've got stuff to print out to how to do invoices, how to do estimates. They've the print department handles a lot of the door hangers and all that print, and they have templates that work over there. Like the Dirty Card is one of their most popular ones that tried and true. So spend a couple bucks.
Yeah, you're right. And we've got fantastic graphic artists. Jillian, who runs the print end of it, is great to work with. If a lot of people can do it themselves. It's not, she can help them. They can do whatever you need. Also, now we can do websites for people. We can do your scheduling. All that stuff is available, for window cleaners.
There's all sorts.
Go ahead.
There's all sorts of resources that are unlimited to us, as you mentioned. One of the ones that I try to take are things like this, right? If you have opportunity to talk to one of the guys, to one of the reps, if there's somebody that you see online that you feel like you may have connection to, or you may find common interest, don't hesitate. The sales reps, John, Zane, Grubbs, TJ, who am I missing here? John
Tom.
B, any of these,
Tom,
there you go. Any of these guys are more than happy to help. And if you just ask for a couple minutes of their time, they're happy to give it to you. They'll set up a time on their schedule to have a discussion with you, to answer any questions. And sometimes it's not really the questions that you have that you think you're getting, that you want the answers to. It's all that other stuff. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier in this conversation. Sometimes it's all that other stuff that is said in that conversation that helps you build that confidence that you may be lacking, right? Sometimes we're just lacking a little bit of confidence and a little bit of faith in someone else to just push us over the top. And I really feel that that's something that this industry is growing towards. A lot of us are pouring back in, and it feels amazing to see how many people are reaching out and pouring back into this industry. Have you noticed a kind of a change in dynamic in that, John?
No, it's interesting. What's so great about our community is it's always been that way. Like I told you earlier, I first got, at one point, I felt like as a window cleaner, I'm out here on my own. I didn't realize there's other people doing this same thing. And then I found out about the Yahoo and realized, oh, here's other window cleaners. And we started that community. And it's always been that way. It's always been a very tight-knit community. I remember one time speaking with, this guy was the vice president of sales for Unger. He had a huge job because Unger's a huge company. And I remember him saying, he says, wow, I've never met a community like the window cleaning community. They're such a tight-knit community. And,
So the VP of sales didn't know how awesome we were?
He didn't realize that, he had come from Coca-Cola, I think. And then he started working with Unger. And so he, got introduced to our community. And he's like, I said, yeah, it's always been that way. I've always been a very tight-knit, a lot of, not always free to help other people. Very, and, that's the thing that I've always loved, and why I still do this is because of the people. I love meeting people, talking to people on the phone. I meet all kinds of people.
And John, that's one thing that you and I have very much in common. I can tell by our conversation that it was a mutual, like, I could tell that you were as interested in what I had to say, which I found bizarre, as I was interested in what you were going to tell me. Like I was starving for information and I was starving for knowledge. And at the same point, you were like, what is Jason asking? Like you were as interested in me as I was in you. And I found that to be refreshing. And I found it's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like it just made me feel accepted. It was something that I felt like I needed that I didn't even realize that I was lacking or missing. So sometimes we just throw a boost of confidence. And I know that in this industry, there's someone for everyone is kind of what I'm getting at. Like you may not connect with one guy, but you that you admire from afar, or you like their game, or you like their style. And it's like once you reach out and find out what makes them, it just helps build your business, build your personality. And sometimes when you build your personality, you build yourself. That goes just as far as stepping up your window cleaning game, in my opinion. What do you say about that?
It's absolutely right. That's any community. That's what it is. There's always people's personalities are different, or personalities that tend to draw one another. So you can always have that. Of course, we have that, as you know, in this industry. I think WCR is, you may not, it's probably before your time, I don't know. But Chris and Alex started a YouTube channel. And basically that's what it was. It was just they were sitting on couches and just talking to people, making these talking people. I don't even know if they had live back then. I think it was videos and then you would watch them. Maybe it was. But that they started that community. That, you know, they started and it's still around. It's still the biggest community. The WCR, forum is still, it was before Facebook.
The window cleaning forum is where it's at. That's where we put it out.
Huge.
That's where we put all our content.
And that was nothing more than a community, for people to come and, get to know one another, realize that there's someone else out there that's doing the same thing. And that's true in all communities. What pulls people together is something they have in common,
Okay. Yeah. Isn't that kind of what inspired them to do the huge convention, the brothers, as they saw so much support and love, and they're like, let's do a show. Let's do something fun. That's
right. And that's the best part about conventions. A lot of people that don't go to conventions miss out on that part, of the those little, like the little coffee thing. Networking is the term they use. But
when we were last year, 11 months ago last year, we were having coffee, and one of the big hitters of the industry just strolled up and sat down and visited with us. It was Mr. Soberboat himself. And that's the kind of stuff that, unless you're dialed into an industry or right place, right time, you know what I mean? It's like, how often do you get to visit with the person who developed, manufactured, created a tool that you use in your hand every day? Like, how, to me, that was over the top insane.
Yes.
Like, carpenters don't get to meet the guy who invented the hammer, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's these little things, these paths that we cross while we're at these conventions that really can change the trip of business. So it is exactly all those little things that really play into part on how we grow. At least that's what I'm finding.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. This is similar to that. Is I remember my first introduction to Window Cleaner magazine and starting to read the articles. And I was reading this article about a guy, he's from California. And so he developed a squeegee that would pivot, that would actually pivot. Before they were all standard.
Yeah.
And the article's all about him and how he developed it. And then Of course, Ettore ended up purchasing it from him, the design. Of course, that's what we have now as a super system. But I remember the first time going to a trade show, it was IWCA because that's all we had back then. That was it. And getting to meet this guy. And it was like, wow. Because I remember that what the super system did for me in my work was amazing. Where you could actually, instead of having to bend down, you could, on a pole, you could still be standing up and reach down and do a side-to-side pull. That just was like a game changer.
Good for the knees.
For me, but like you said, getting to meet someone like that, it's like, wow, this is the guy that came up with that idea.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
Right? How they changed your life.
Sure,
I mean,
it did. It definitely did.
And how was it? How'd that conversation go? Like, do you still have a conversation with that person?
I don't have very good memory of it. I just remember reading about him, and then I think he was probably in Ettore's booth, because I think he ended up, as a matter of fact, I'm almost positive, he ended up working for Ettore after they bought his design.
Smart. Get him on payroll. Get those ideas flowing.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned earlier that February isn't going to work for you this year. You're going to try and shoot out at the Huge in August.
Yeah, definitely. I'll always go to the Huge for sure. Josh and I, when he was talking to me about IWCA, that's going, and I said, no, just, let some of the other guys go. I haven't been. The last one I went to was actually in your old hometown in Prescott.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, it was fairly small. But I love golf, so I knew it would be warm out there. So I wanted to go to Prescott.
Hey, you mentioned the sim pole earlier. You used to sell some of those.
Yes.
What is your relationship and friendship with like Philip these days?
I don't get to speak to him much. I think the last time I saw him was I see him every year at the trade shows.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. But when he had his company here and I had my company, first time I ever met him was the weirdest thing. We were both in a shop at the same shopping center doing windows. And I noticed on the top of his truck, he had a tucker pole. And so I went over and spoke to him. Mm-hmm. And then later on, I found out he was making carbon fiber poles, contacted him, and he gave me one to use. Then I started, he wanted me to start helping promote it. And then I went to IWCA shows, a few shows with him, and sold them. It worked his booth and stuff. I always wanted him, because Chris had contacted me, they wanted to handle it, especially the marketing. I encouraged him to do it. He never would. I think he could have been way more successful if he would allow WCR to handle it.
Yeah, that's the idea and the sentiment that I have heard from multiple other people. I haven't had many interactions with him. He's like a 90-minute drive just north, right up to 17 from me.
He's still doing windows. He still does windows. He's a lot older. He's several years older than I am. Phil's a very, very honest person. His personality is probably his biggest challenge. He's a little different, let's put it that way.
We all are.
I was just going to say the same thing. We're window cleaners. We're all a little different.
Yeah, we're all a little different. He's a little different, but I'm telling that guy's cleaned windows a long time. And I ran into him when I moved to Tennessee in '92. We're in the same shopping center. And
small world.
But he's designed some really nice stuff. He's got some good ideas and has made some good products. And we've sold them. We've sold quite a few sim poles.
John, you have this way of reassuring and when you're telling a story, highlighting the quality. That's a nice quality that you have. Your verbiage is nice. We can highlight and speak about somebody and relay information about them without criticizing and taking people out of the kneecaps. Well done, my friend. Well,
nice kneecap plug.
Well done.
Yeah, I learned. My mom always taught me, says, if you can't say anything good about someone, just stay silent. You know.
Yeah.
That's part of the thing. That's another thing that we try to do in this with this podcast that we do is making sure that we highlight and speak properly and highly of others. We all go through stuff, so we don't need to be banging on people and talking smack about them. And I see it looks like he lost.
His screen went dark. He must have had something bad to say about somebody, so he's keeping his mouth shut, which is nice. John, are you still with us?
Maybe he can hear us.
Testing. Nope, he may have popped out or phone died. We'll be back to that regular scheduled programming in just a second.
Yeah. Well, you one of the nice things too is just having him on too. I'm telling you, Deeds, and you know this firsthand, and having conversations and interactions with John is there's a calming presence when you're having a conversation with John. Like, this just feels right? Like,
yes.
There's something there. It's like when you're having a conversation with your favorite uncle or one of your best buds. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not getting bad info. So I'm super glad that we were finally able to track John down. I'm a little bummed that he's not going to be there next month, but I'm super excited. And I guess I'll have to wait until August to see him. But
we'll be seeing him at the Huge in August. So that'll be nice. There's got a lot of golf courses around that area. I'm pretty sure you could throw a stone.
And I don't know if John can hear me or not, but if he ever makes it out to Phoenix, I'm not like a great golfer. I'm not even good, but if he ever makes it out to Phoenix, golf's on me, John. I would love to see you. 4 is what I will be saying. That's for sure. What do you say?
So
no bullshit, man. That's the honest truth. So I guess let's go ahead and just keep having the conversation go for a couple more minutes, and maybe John will be able to pop back in with us.
I think maybe his phone died or something, or he had a phone call. That happens too. Take you off the Wi-Fi.
Damien says, after these messages, we'll be right back. Anybody remember that commercial or that outro from? I think it was a Saturday morning cartoon. Damien and I and you we're about the same age, so I figured maybe you guys would get it. I know Damien did.
Damien. But yeah, so happy Wednesday. What do you got on the agenda this morning?
We locked in a big ol' interior, exterior. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes away from me. Julian, Marisa had to take Julian to the doctor. I took him yesterday. He's going back today to get some back manipulation, try to get that back in there. We're going to go do that 2-story. Billy's probably just now getting started at 7:30 my time. So that's when he gets started this time of year. After that gets done, I'm going to come back home and get some stuff going. But and then tomorrow he's on a house in Northeast Valley, Cave Creek, and then I'm at a house on the southwest side. So we'll be at 2 different locations tackling some projects. He's got a great looking interior, exterior tomorrow. I got a little ranch style solo, 24-piece project that I'll be working on. And then Friday, I don't know what we're doing, but what about you?
Today I've got 2 gutter cleanings right in Katy, so that's nice. Yesterday I tried out the carbon fiber. So I brought the only squeegees I used yesterday at an interior job with the carbon fiber and the Sorbo 18-inch because I had some small and big windows, and then a little 4-incher to close everything out. But I got to use that carbon yesterday, and that was some lightweight sliding. It's real nice on the glass, and a lot of guys are gonna. You're supposed to commemorate it and keep it up and show it, but I'm gonna use it more, especially
go.
when you're doing insides and it can't fall into, on mulch and stuff like that. But if anybody else has been using that carbon fiber, it's sleek and lightweight, very nice.
Yeah. So last night, I sent you a video of myself.
John's back.
Hey, John's back. There you
Hey,
go.
I don't know what happened. I think a phone call came through and it knocked me out and I had to sign back in.
That happens, yeah. Dang
So
it.
we were just talking about what our plans were for the rest of the week. I'm doing some nonsense. Deeds is doing a little bit of stuff too. But I was just getting ready to tell him. So last night I was my house's windows get thrashed constantly. I have 3 dogs, cat, one kid, a 5-year-old, and then I have a niece and a nephew that come over 5 days a week. So I'm doing my windows at home quite a bit. And I was filming and I was figuring, maybe I'll get some content. But my daughter, who's 5 years old, is out there and she's basically giving me play-by-play. And one of the play-by-plays was great because I don't know where she got it, but she's like, if you're watching this video and you want to learn how to clean windows, watch my dad. He knows what he's doing. And and I was like, oh my God, babe, this is outstanding. So I want to tell you guys, if you ever want a boost of confidence and you have little kids, go out to your house, clean your windows, and let your kids give you play-by-play because it'll make your heart full. It will make you feel so much better. Sometimes all you just need is a little reassurance from your loved ones or your little ones, and it'll just make your night. So yeah, that was one of the things that I was just getting ready to share. But another one was, so I'm out there and she wants to clean. So she's telling me, you do the tops, I'll do the bottoms. And like I said, she's 5 years old. So she's scrubbing. And then, I was sending some videos to Cody Smith and she's cleaning the windows. And afterwards she realizes that there's still soap on the glass.
Yeah.
So she grabs my rags and she just starts cleaning it all up. She's detailing proper and perfect on the sides and the frames, but then she's totally just completely cleaning and wiping up all of her leftovers soap residue. So I sent the video to Deeds and I wanted to share that video on Friday when we have our guest. Is it Jay? Is Jay going to join us on Friday?
Jay is joining. Yeah. It looks like John jumped off again. Freaking Windows 98.
So John Camarero, our resident towel specialist, is going to join us on Friday, and I'll probably throw that video up for him to see what his thoughts are on my 5-year-old's window cleaning ability. So, John, how many kids and grandkids do you have?
I've got, I have 5 children and 4 grandkids.
Wow, so, that's awesome.
Kids, they always could entertain kids, whether it was a house or at a business. They love window cleaning. It just fascinates them. It entertains them.
Yep.
And all my kids work with me at some point. My grandson, he's worked a little bit with me. He's 12, but all my kids work with me. As a matter of fact, my youngest daughter, still runs the company now. She pretty much is office manager and does pretty much everything. I just sort of fill in wherever she needs me and stuff.
And awesome. What's the best part about being a grandpa?
Oh, is that when it's time for them to go, it's time for them to go.
Spoken
Relax.
like a true vet. That's outstanding.
You get to have them, have fun, spoil them, and then when it's time to go, they go, and you can walk away from it.
Well, yeah, you've earned it. 5 kids raising 5 children can't be easy.
Yeah, it was a blended family. I had 3 with my first wife, and none. The second we had none. She had 2, so we blended together.
Oh, very cool.
So that's why we had 5. We didn't birth 5 and raise 5, but we did raise. We did raise all of them, because when you're a step parent, you're still a parent. So
this is for sure. My wife. And I met when I was 24 years old. Yeah. And my son had just turned 5.
Yeah.
And he's 27 now.
See, there you go.
And step whatever, you're a parent and you're the
right.
man or woman, and that's one of the other things too. We're always commending our loved ones, and
Yes.
letting them know we appreciate them, because when we're small business owners, we're honestly, we're always on the clock,
Yes.
always
You're
doing
right.
things, and the support that we get from our loved ones is really what keeps us going.
That's it. You couldn't do it
Sometimes,
without the family. For sure.
yeah, and if you don't have that support too, it really makes life a drag.
It does.
I remember, I brought up the Jersey Josh, thing earlier about how much I appreciate him. At my first convention, I was worn thin, bro. It was 2023. I had just gone on like a 3-year straight run of just doing everything solo. And, my wife and I had just gotten engaged. We had just gotten pregnant, engaged, and married after like 17 years. And then I was 3 years into it wasn't new, but I was 3 years into my business as a sober person, not drinking, and trying to get everything going. And at 3 years in that time, I was at my, like, I had it up to here.
Oh yeah.
I really wasn't sharing a lot of my struggles or my trials and tribulations with my wife, because I didn't want to pour it on her shoulders. So at that point in time, it was right when I met Josh and a lot of these people in our industry, where I could share these stories about what I was going through. And had I not met some of these people at these shows, I don't know if I'd still be in business, John.
Yeah. It's a community.
It is a community.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I'm always going to be grateful for. It may sound corny, but that's why I pour back in, because someone poured into, like, accepted and poured into me.
Yeah.
So if I come off corny, or if I sound unauthentic, eat it, because this is really me. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to give back to the same community that poured into me. So I want to ask you too a couple questions before we get off.
Yeah.
What is your, if you were on the glass these days, traditional cleaning, not water fed, what would be your go-to setup? What would be your in hand? What would be on your belt? What would be in your hands?
Yeah. So when I do my windows here, I really like the Fuji scrubber.
Okay.
It holds a lot of water and it scrubs good. I like it. So I use the Fuji. I have the Unger Ninja T-bar.
Okay.
Sure. That's what I use.
It pivots. It has the pivot and it has the lock. I like that. The lock.
Mm-hmm.
For the squeegee, because I'm always getting this new stuff. WCR sends me the new stuff, so I like to try different things. Right now, I'm using the wide body accelerator handle with the Zorbo channel.
Nice.
That's a nice setup. That was actually that was what my daughter was using yesterday. She was using like she was using the Mormon wide body with the Zorbo like 8-inch. And
I tell you, the one thing I've always liked about Zorbo is, and I'm not sure how they do it, but it doesn't leave as much water when you pull away from the edge.
Less detail.
For some reason, the angle or whatever, because I know when I was doing route work, it was great for pole work because you didn't have to spend so much time running a towel around the top edge and from drip down. So I've always liked them. I remember the first time I ever saw them, it was really strange. It was in a shopping center doing windows. That time I was using Ed-Ray equipment. Typical, the brass.
Yeah.
And I saw this bucket and had these really long squeegees sticking out. And I went over and looked at it, and they were Zorbos. Like, wow, I've never seen squeegees that size. And look how thick they are.
Yeah. It's got some girth.
Yeah. Which is, speaking of, if you guys don't know, World Enterprises has purchased Zorbo. So there's a lot of exciting things coming with that. Just I know we're super excited about it, and to be able to offer that.
Man, John keeps getting cut off. That's a bummer.
Right at the Zorbo part.
I know, and I'm excited and dying to hear what he's about to say. What Sorbo's going to drop. So Deeds, I placed an order on Monday. I ordered some new Sorbo. I got a 14, like the red channel, and then I got a 24 in that same red channel. I think it will look really slick on camera. We have the 30 for the towers. You know, Billy he did the towers yesterday, and he rocks a 30 on that. But I figure a 24 red channel will look pretty slick on some big commercial glass. I thought that would be neat.
I got John's trying to connect back in. If he can hear me, his microphone and or video camera is not quote selected. So just if he can hear me or whatever, I don't know if he's got to go to a settings box or in the settings and allow. Yeah, we've had this happen a couple of times where maybe he jumped back in on a laptop and set up a phone, but something about the settings, allow camera, allow microphone. So if he can hear me, probably. Yeah, something in the settings for Internet Explorer, Safari.
Yeah, that can be a drag. So I also ordered some Unger, the pole tips with a little rubber
little soft tip. Yeah,
rubber tip. I ordered a couple of those for our pal John Magdos because he does a lot of route work and he needs, a couple different tips. So shout out to John Magdos. And then but now listening to John Lee, I feel like I need to get that Unger squeegee. I had one a long time ago, and I ended up either trading or giving it to one of the guys that I was training at the time. People are trying to place an order with John. We made a mistake, Deeds. We put John Lee's number down there. Then people are calling him to place an order and kicking him off our show.
Yeah, right. It's like, damn it.
So, Mike, you're such a liar. Nichols says, I bought the new synthetic brush, even though I don't clean anymore. I see you cleaning almost weekly. I know you act like you just stand around and do nothing, but I know you're out there doing stuff. Much love to my man, Mike Nichols. I might just bring me a pair of overalls or two to the show, just in honor of our buddy.
So we're allowed to get in costume here? Can I show up as Macho Deeds? Or
I would love it.
I mean, that should.
We've talked about it, but we don't know. I think that it always depends upon how we're feeling at that moment. In theory, some of the ideas that we come up with sound great, but then when it boils down to it and we get out to make it happen, we're like, oh shit, am I really going to do this? So I support you. I support you, Deeds, in any way that you want to get wild or get funky. And always, bro, you're free to come as you are, as Nirvana once said.
Yes, but
anyway,
we're only like 3 weeks from the IWC, aren't we? So it's right around the corner here.
Yeah, bro. In 3 weeks, we're going to be hanging out, visiting together.
It's crazy. Checking out the speakers, checking out the everything. It's going to be a good deal.
We just also big announcement. You and I, we changed our dates. We're going Tuesday to Saturday now, right?
Yeah, the more the merrier. Gets really hands-on everything, Yeah,
it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to stay an extra night and that will be great.
Networking, that's the fun part.
Jake Van O just said, get a pair of overalls and take a black and white photo at the IWCA. So, Jake, I have a pair of Dickie overalls that I bought a couple years ago for wintertime that I rock specifically in winter. I think they're gangster. They're black with white stitch. They're so dope. So I probably will bring those bad boys to the Deeds and the Pelvis tattoo. I will probably bring those Dickie overalls and make sure that Mike and I get a picture together. But I do encourage, if Jake likes that idea and Jake throws it out there, I encourage others to bring some overalls and we can get an overall picture. Deeds, do you own any overalls?
I do not, but I have got a good guy doll, so I can bring Chucky and his overalls out. We can check that out. The Teddy Ruxpin, maybe.
Creepy overalls. They have a lot of pockets and they are more what's the word I'm looking for style than purpose. They look cool. but they
You
aren't.
were, never mind. I was going to make a joke. But Craig just posted, Grace has helped him design 2 new pair of trousers for the convention. Also, Steve Williams has some trousers coming as well. That's going to be pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. Where is that
Yeah,
at? I missed that.
Well, yeah, 1 minute ago, Craig just commented.
Nice.
And, we can't wait to see that. That'll be great. And to get Steve's, that solar panel. I'm excited to see what pants and trousers he's got going. John Lee just sent me a text. He said, yeah, sorry, this keeps kicking me out, but he had a great time. We're going to send him the link when we're finished. And such a great guest. He was just about to talk about Sorbo, but
that's all right. We'll get John on again very soon. So Jessica Battle just said, is this coffee now an overall meeting too? I think it should be Thursday morning.
Bring your overalls.
Yeah, overalls. Pants are not optional. Overalls are.
Yes.
You have to wear pants.
Overalls. Yeah, put some pants on.
Well,
actually, you can wear shorts. It is our Orlando in February. It might be like 68 degrees. So shorts are optional. But yeah.
So shorts, yeah, shorts or pants, but pants, shorts, whatever. Something covering your bottom half.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to be doing coffee and a sticker exchange. We've mentioned before. We'll mention again. We're just hoping everybody, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock can meet us, have some coffee. We're going to supply donuts and some Starbucks somewhere around the lobby or area in the DoubleTree Orlando. Just got to get that figured out. But we're excited to have anybody that's got an hour, wants some free coffee to come mingle, network, and chat amongst ourselves. Yeah, we want to, spread that invite to you guys. So if you're watching, you're going to the IWCA, the Elevate Conference, come check us out.
The invite has been extended. Be there or be square. Bring some stickers. Spread some joy. Have some laughs. Share a chuckle. Pinch your friend. Give a hug. Do whatever it is that you got to do to get your day started. But start it with good deeds. That'll be fun, right?
We'll be supplying the coffee, so you can save a buck or two or $6 and come grab some Java with us and share some stories and some laughs and some stickers.
$6 my ass, bro. I think I was spending $12 and $13 a cup when we were at the Opryland. I don't know what it would be like at the DoubleTree, but I'm almost positive my coffee at the Opryland was $12 or $13, and it wasn't a 30 ounce; it was a 20 ounce. So,
oof,
yeah, oof is
light
right.
Yeah, that's why we want to do coffee, because we've had fun drinking coffee with Mike and all that, and it's just a really good way to start your day, surrounded by friends and peers.
You and I have had this conversation multiple times. I mean, it's what helped start this show. It's really the idea, the basis, the brotherhood, the connection of just starting your day off on the right foot. And I've shared before that I used to attend AA meetings at 6:30 in the morning for years. And I didn't correlate what it is that we were doing to being similar to what I was doing for years ago when I was trying to keep my mind straight.
Sure.
But after doing this for almost a year, Deeds, it's like I think we've kind of stumbled onto something that's great. And I'm so happy to get to share these moments with you. And guys like John Lee, Mike Nichols, Damian Schreckengoss, Sean Hart, Corey Klimas, Gabe Gutierrez, Grace, Craig Hensel, Jessica Battle. If I forgot your name or if I didn't mention your name, trust me, you're not. It's not that you aren't appreciated. It's just that the list goes on and on. Y'all are important to our industry. You are important to your family. You are important to your community, and you are loved. And that's kind of what we wanted to continue bringing on this show. Right, brother?
Yep. Positivity. Yep.
Positivity, my man. So we'll go ahead and start wrapping this up. But who would you like to give a shout out to today?
Give a shout out to everybody out there. Thank you for watching and continuing to be part of our mornings 3 days a week. We really appreciate it. I'm not too big on reading the comments. I pop over every now and then. I basically make sure that the stream is up and running. So I appreciate everybody interacting. We love the questions, the comments, the jokes. It's all good. We really appreciate it. Shout out to you, Jason. Thank you for taking this awesome ride with us and with me. Thank you, Chris and Alex, everything they do behind the scenes and at WCR and Sorbo. World Enterprises, all of us wouldn't be what we are today or have the kind of businesses we have today if it wasn't for the love and support of the great suppliers and stuff like those guys. And big shout out to Kylie, my wife. She's still plugging along, doing all her cool stuff behind the scenes, helping us, be a fun podcast, making it worth it and having a good time sharing the mornings with our friends.
You just nailed it on the head, bro. And then Damien mentioned something in the podcast too. # we do recover. Yes, we do. I got spirit. How about you? I'm extremely grateful for our friendship, buddy. It means a lot to me that we get to do these things Monday, Wednesdays, Friday, share stories with people in our community, and that we get to do this on 3 times a week. It's insane. Alex and Chris for their support. Sorbo Zero, WCR, you've created a community that allows people to share. And it's really something unique and glorious. And I'm really glad that we get to do this. Kylie, thank you for all the stuff that you do. Marisa, my wife, for allowing me to do these things, for taking Julian to doctor's appointments, to school 3 days a week. That was something that I agreed to when we went to the school.
It's a big weight. Yep.
It is a big weight. We ran 21 minutes long today, which is fine. But when we get that opportunity to go long, it means we're having a good time, and guests is great. So the flexibility, Deeds, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, just our buddies too, like Squeegee Tom, John Magdos, like I mentioned Damien too, like some of these cats been hanging out. Jessica just asked too, like, what are you guys going to do for a 1-year anniversary? That's coming up real soon, dude. It's less than a month away. So we'll have to figure out something special and unique and fun to commemorate the 1 year that we've shared together and shared as a community. So I'm pretty excited, dude.
I'll get my my office manager on the video compilations, the best ofs.
Maybe we should do like funniest interview, weirdest segment. I
think weirdest segment might be the Deeds Going Deeds world. That was kind of strange, kind of fun. Garth Elgar, Wayne Campbell. I'm sure maybe Garth will make an appearance at the Elevate conference. I'm not sure yet. How many
that would be fun.
Garth gets.
Hey, the hair's grown out. Out. I'll definitely bring the cap. So
cap it up.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap it on up, buddy. I guess it's time to split. Maurice's giving me a call. She's probably telling me I need to get the kid dressed and ready to go. Let her sleep in a little long today. Yeah, brush those teeth, brush that hair, wash your butt. Anyways,
change your rubbers.
And I hope your passion bucket's full. And if it's not, hopefully by the end of the week, it will be. Join us on Friday. Our guest is going to be John Camarero. We're going to be talking all sorts of goodies. I hope that I can share my clip with him, Deeds, to get his reaction and find out if my daughter may be the next generation of window cleaners. So also John's going to share some of his tips on growth and strategy for your business. So if you're trying to grow that route, tune in, be there, be square. Deeds already told you, change your rubbers, stay up, stay gold. We'll catch you on Friday, 8:30 Eastern, gang.
Have a good morning.